This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Well, for me personally, it's great to be back with the team. We've been back really about 2 weeks ago from surgery, but I only spent about 2 days and then got sidetracked with the COVID and went into a quarantine and came out of that and been with the team since Monday this week. And just enjoy getting back with them, and a lot of fun to get back with them and see them in action personally, and still be working with my coaching staff, which I think has done a great job in my absence, even though we continue to have conversations and things like that. And to see them play together with a lot of intensity today and some balance. So it was a lot of fun to see the efforts and see it firsthand.
And the girls seemed to shake off the rust after a kind of up and down first quarter. You outscore them. I think it was 46-22 over the second and third quarters. You shoot 50-something%, hold them to 6 of 29 shooting in those quarters. Did you see that the girls just shake off the rust of a 13-day layoff and then just get right back into the rhythm that they had during the first three ASUN series?
In a 40-minute period there, I thought we did pretty good maybe the first 5-6 minutes. And I think the only thing they had was a bank shot three during that period of time. And then they went on a run right there, and we subbed. And the energy that came from those coming off the bench sort of went back and locked them down from a defensive perspective. So over the entire 40-minute game, I was probably not pleased for about a 4 or 5 minute period right there. And for the rest of the game, our intensity level and focus was pretty good from a defensive perspective. They did a good job. Me and JU did a good job on the offensive boards, and that was something we wanted to address, and did a little bit better in the second or the third, fourth quarter. And very, very good. Very pleased with the defensive effort from the entire team.
We've seen, and it's been consistent in the four Saturday games so far. It's a hockey-like line shift or line change so far, just to manage minutes. Is that something you and Coach Sherrard had discussed entering ASUN play with these back-to-backs, or is that something that's kind of developed throughout, and it seems to work in terms of managing minutes and keeping those girls as fresh as possible for Sunday?
Well, I think number one is recognizing our team and our practices. Wow, when they start scrimmaging against each other, you might as well just flip a coin who's going to win the scrimmage, because we've got good depth. And with that, it's pretty obvious, okay? Those games are 40 minutes long, and you're playing back-to-back. It's a strategy. It's a strategy that we have the ability to use, and we'll continue to use that. Yeah, I could probably shuffle individuals from the first group to second group back and forth, but they've been playing together pretty good in practice. We'll probably continue on with this type of strategy, because it seems to be pretty successful at this point, even though that second game, the Sunday games, is overtime, nail biters, and we expect that if we can learn from our experiences, that we need to make sure we get a good night's rest and eat well, and be prepared for a team that will make some adjustments against us for tomorrow.
And this team this year, with that challenging non-conference schedule, how much has that helped with this group of, not only playing back-to-back, but taking season opportunities when they're presented? Because it seems like this group really learned some lessons in that non-conference play, and is really starting to hit a peak here in conference play.
Yeah, I would say if I asked a team, they would like to have 3 games back. And our opening game, we lose by 4 or 5, lose to Memphis on the road by 4 or 5, and those are games that we could have, if we just made free throws or did 1 or 2 plays, we could have picked up a W there. Virginia Tech is a very good team. They just knocked off NC State this week in overtime and almost got them twice this week. And they played number 1 Louisville very good. They're a very good team that had really good balance, and to play somebody like that is a good challenges and a good way to evaluate your team. I think those games like that are what builds your team, and when you do have challenges that you're either prepared for them or you go back to the drawing board and reevaluate and prepare in a different way.
Hello, Coach Green. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. I hope you're healthy. Everything's going well with your surgery and all that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
So how did it feel just to get back on the court today?
Well, it's just the game is still the game. I'm yelling and screaming at my TV at home, but it's the relationship and seeing the girls, how they relate to one another and the coaching staff, and they've just been so kind to me and sweet to me, and it's just good to get back into relationships that we've been building for years. Some of them, it's 4 years deep in relationships. So it's good to get back and work with these young ladies and play this game that they love.
That's good. That's good. So while you were gone, I know assistant coaches would step up and associate head coach. Can you just give a testament of how well of a job they did?
Well, obviously they're undefeated, man. I mean, come on. They did a great job and did not allow the girls to drop their head or be distracted in any way, to stay on task, and that's to develop and grow together. And, they've had some great games where I think we had 19 assists. They've had a couple games that we've had over 20 assists in a couple games. So they're really playing together, and great teams do play together. And Coach Sherrard and Coach Bloodworth and Matera has done a great job, along with there's a coach behind the scenes, Solomon Tatt, who's done a great job just keeping our team growing and developing long range with balance, physical balance, and he does a great job. And also, not in the day of the COVID, having a good trainer like Laura Macuso, you cannot overlook. She keeps us glued together and taped together, and just trying to keep us moving in the same direction and being able to compete. So I've got a wonderful coaching staff to work with, and they've done nothing but excellent job, A+, top shelf type of job with our current players.
That's good. So you and the Lady Flames now move to 7-0 in conference play. What do you think the key was to dominating the conference this year?
Well, it's we're probably not even halfway through. Are we halfway through? Tomorrow will be halfway through. I think we've been fortunate with some home wins, home games, and we love this arena. Wow, our fans, it's just a beautiful place to come into, and I think our players really appreciate it, love the lighting, and just a warm venue for us to play in. So playing at home, continue to improve. We still have, it looks like in our next 4 games, we got 3 of them on the road, so those are big challenges for us. And always swinging to Florida and Florida Gulf Coast, Stetson, Jacksonville, North Florida is what we got coming up next. That Florida swing is a killer. It's tough, and so we just want to continue to get better. Take one game at a time. We can't look way on down. We've got a very good Jacksonville team tomorrow, and we played well today. If we can keep the mindset and preparation, just take one game at a time.
Okay. So today the Jacksonville team, they threw all types of defenses at you. I saw 3-2 zone, 2-3 zone, different type of presses. Were you guys expecting this coming in, and was there anything that you're preaching to your players to prepare them for this moment?
Coach Andy Bloodworth did the scout on them, and let's give her credit. She was right on point. None of those things caught us off guard. Now, it doesn't mean we were good at executing our offense against a trap or a 3-2 or 2-3 or full court press, but we were prepared for just about all of it. And I think they're a little short-handed. I know they got some people that are injured on the team. I think they're 9 deep, if I'm not mistaken, and you really can't extend yourself with a lot of pressure for 40 minutes and be able to come back the next day. So we expected to see some zone and some man-to-man and a mixture of it, and hopefully we were prepared enough to be successful, and hopefully can do it again.
As you were saying, the Jacksonville team were a little short-handed this afternoon. You guys are bringing in a lot of different players throughout the whole game. Was that a game plan for you guys to just get out and run and kind of tire down this Jacksonville team?
Well, we wanted to be ourselves. Overall, our philosophy, or my philosophy, is us work on who we are, making ourselves better 80% of the time. Now, let's respect our opponent. So the other 20%, what do we need to prepare for and not be caught off guard? So there's points in the game that both teams are going up and down the floor pretty quick. And, man, I had my first bunch ready to come back in. I was ready to sub them in, and they sort of saw a period of the game that they could really get up and down the floor. And then we had a media timeout, so we sort of lost that opportunity. But, yeah, we'll use that as a strategy. Why not? We should. Do anything you can legally and fair to put your team in a position to be successful, and that would be playing to our strength.
So before speaking to you, two of your other players, Emily and Priscilla, were talking about how you were talking about packing the paint, and it worked today. You caused many turnovers and scored 23 points off those turnovers. So in practice, what do you guys go over when you talk about packing the paint?
Well, you don't have to look too far to see man-to-man teams like our men or UVA men. It's getting into gap. So if you're guarding someone and they have the ball, you just got to keep them in front. But if they give the ball up, you need to reposition immediately, because the ball is the most important thing, and then your man comes second. So if you react to the ball, then you're getting into a gap, and in some ways, just another phrase would be, packing the paint, getting into gap, stopping a good penetrating team. Now, this is a team that really penetrates very well, and I'm looking down here. Yeah, they got to the free throw line more than we did, and we're just trying to stop that penetration.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. My last question just for you is, obviously you guys were amazing tonight, but What type of adjustments will you be making tomorrow to have the same outcome?
Well, it's not so much of adjustments. We didn't play all of our cards, meaning we've probably got 5 different sets, 3 different offenses, and 3 different or 4 different zone offenses, and you didn't see them all today. So, we've got those. We practice on those, and as they're looking at video like we're looking at video, and they'll say, okay, we see them doing this. Well, they may not even see that tomorrow because we're running something different. And you just got to be prepared. Every team does the same thing. They need to have, as I would say, more bullets in the gun, so you can make some adjustments, when you're hunting a bear or a grizzly bear or an elephant, man, one shot is probably not going to get it done. And, in the game of basketball, and you probably will not be successful if you just have one offense, one defense. You can be successful if you had superior talent, but sometimes you don't. So you got to be able to have different strategies. Yes, to answer your question, we'll probably have some different offensive sets that you never saw today.